Okay, I thought before it gets dark here, I'm going to take a video. I just cleaned it up. It was pretty dirty. I already had, it had this front clip here that was mounted on there. I already had an extra one of these because I ordered one, I don't know, got lost in the mail, so I ordered another for my convertible. And then, of course, right after I sold it, and then the other one showed up in the mail anyhow. I threw that on, and as you can see, that's the regular, I guess, 3 Series grill rather than the M3. I already showed you that before, but I just took out the other fog light because the one here was missing, and this bracket's broken, so I'm just going to order a set. When you order a set, they come with the brackets. And these, I'm going to get rid of this. I don't know what's going on here with these funky signal lights, so I'm just going back to regular amber. These are like a aftermarket. I mean, they're okay lights. They seem to work okay. They didn't do too bad of a job with the paint. I know they didn't mask very well, so I got to scrape off where they went over. And there's just one area here where it had, I don't know if you can see that, where I'm going to have to touch that up somehow because it's cracked. And the plastic on the side panels were pretty dry, so I just took a buffer with some plastic polish. Hey Riley, what are you doing? And all these tires are mismatched, different. I got a Michelin and was a Yokohama and a Bridgestone, and so anyhow, I got the brakes are, they're down to the like an 1/8 inch on the pad, and there's a little lip on the rotor, so the brakes are due. I still got to pull these suckers off and find out what the offset or ET is and the width or whatnot. And the sunroof, it tilts but it doesn't open, so let's see what else here. I got this paint is a little off. I'll have to reshoot it with, it's a Arctic silver metallic, I think is what the whatever official color is. And there was like rust and stuff on the chrome here. Whoops, rust and chrome on here. So I took a steel wool, fine steel wool, to get the rust off. And this was dried out, and just polished that up, and the other side's the same. I just cleaned that up, and surprisingly, the windshield looks fairly new. Most cars I've gotten, it's either cracked or pitted, and so it's probably a fairly new windshield. I don't know about this tinted thing. I might get rid of that. And let's see at this. Is it tinted on the other side? I didn't notice that. It seems like it's tinted, but it just seems darker on this side for some reason. Yeah, it does look darker. I think it's darker tinted on this side. It's weird. Let's see what else. I got this thing unlocked. Well, it has a remote thing, but I'm going to see if maybe it's just the battery. I'm hoping that works. And it should have the M3 mirrors, these are regular 3 Series. The M3s are a little bit different. I cleaned up the interior. Was it was a nightmare. It was really dirty. Oh, this thing popped off again. Yeah, that's what I hate about these. I don't know what they did to these door panels. But the seats are in pretty good shape. Let me go. Whoops, I didn't go that far. But there was all kinds of dirt underneath these, and I cleaned them out as best I could. But the leather is in, here's kind of wore, but it's not tore through. And probably have a leather guy do a touch up. and but everything's functional. They're mechanical. I mean, they're not electric, but all the switches work on. It's like what, four, and then the fifth one is this one here. Everything seems to work on that, and the steering wheel's in really good shape. It's not all wore out. I gotta take, but it has the heavy duty whatever BMW. See that BMW labeled rubber mats, front and rear. Got them back here, and typically you see them in the M3s. They'll have there's like a little blue and red and whatever going diagonal on here, and for some reason this model doesn't have it, but these are they look like the original seats, and there's no tears. I mean, there's some wear. Looks like they've, I don't know, it was all trashed in here. I cleaned it out real well, and there's like some fine dog hair, and not too bad, but I got all that out. The headliner is, just, I think I got to get, I haven't cleaned the headliner yet, but at least it's not sagging. And I still got to clean out this tray here, but this thing was just filthy. This shift knob was just all loose and just comes right off, and so I just put something around it to tighten it, and took the boot out and cleaned it and then treated it so it wasn't all dried out. And then the passenger seat, of course, it's much better shape as far as on the side here. But what they did with these door panels is, it looks like the center part might have been a different color, and they did like a vinyl, like interior vinyl spray to it, like a silver. And see, these are supposed to be, I think, what's called a dove gray, or whatever color, that kind of match the seats. And then I guess they couldn't figure out how to mount it, so they put some little screw things like through here, and then the other side is just same thing. It's like shot with a silver, and then it's not really on there like it should be. And the same thing, the matching rears, they did the same. You can see how it's different, little color from these seats. But as far as the dash, there's no cracks, and it's all clean, clean through here. And actually, these seats are heated as well. And the windows seem to work. She said, I think one of the regular window regulators were replaced. So, but I think what it really needs is, I saw on eBay some panels that are the appropriate color and they're in good condition. So I'll just have to wait to order those guys. So then I got to figure, once I give it a tune-up and stuff, and find out what's causing the check engine light here. And the bushings in this I'll have to replace. With this one, you actually have to jack up the car, drop the drive line, and get to the linkage underneath to get to those bushings, because when you shift, it's sloppy, and does. I thought maybe it was the synchros in the transmission, but I'm pretty sure it's the because if I do it just right, it'll go in and it's smooth when you're shifting. So I don't think it's the synchros at all. Plus, I'll change out the fluid in the transmission. I think they do like red line, or whatever fluid they recommend. And then that's the brake wear sensor, then the passenger airbag, passenger side airbag, and then of course check engine light is on. But it seems that I drove it and everything over here from Tahoe, so it's it seemed to run well. But the engine was pretty dirty. I did like a quick wipe down of it. It's missing. There's a panel that goes over this, and it connects to this little air duct that goes in there. Yeah, this is the color. It's they call it Arctis Silver, which is Arctic silver, metallic. I think the code is, forget what the code is, 309 or something like that, but whatever. Yeah, I just, I need to get an air filter, and I already have the oil filter. Just need to get the oil, do the spark plugs too, and it doesn't seem like it's leaking anything. It is seeping from, because I wiped off here, and there's residue back here from the, can't really see it because it's dark, but typical valve cover gasket goes bad and seeps. But as you can see, I mean, it started right up and it's running well. I mean, it's not missing bad. But it does need some TLC. And that thing I mentioned, where it was a little bit off on the gap here compared to the other side. It's actually not the frame. It's just how the bumper's mounted, because you see how much of a gap here as opposed. See how it's a little bit narrower on this side, so what is that, up to not even like past between my two knuckles on my finger right here, and then on this side it goes past my second knuckle, so it's just a little bit off here, maybe just a little tweaking on the mount to bring this out. But yeah, I want to get rid of these funky turn signal things. But let's see what the lights look like. So it's got the little whatever angel eyes they call them. So overall, I mean, it cleans up pretty nice. I want to take a little steel wool to the rear muffler. It's just, I think if I polish it up, it'll look good. I think I may have a buyer for my bike. I just figured just to put it up and for sale and make a couple bucks, and that way I can just start putting money into this car. I got a guy coming tomorrow morning to check it out. But I'll see if I can show you what I mean about the how it shifts here. It will, if you try to shift fast, it'll kind of want to grind a little bit. Yeah, so it didn't really do it there that time, so I might have got the shift just right. So I mean, it seems like the clutch is fine. I thought maybe it was the throw-up bearing causing that, but I think it's the just the bushings in this thing. Cause let's see, like put it in gear, like here, so you can see how much it moves a little bit. It just seems sloppy, so I think that's why. Also, I know like if your fluid's kind of low, it usually affects the two top gears. I think it's probably just how they're positioned in the transmission, so I think maybe helping to change the fluid out in that. But everything seems, it's good LEDs. They're nice and bright, because typically, they go out and it has the full computer, because some cars will just have like the date and time and like the outside temp. where this one has what range from, I gotta change it to yeah, miles. Okay. So then you can do you know, your average whatever miles to gallon, and you can reset it on the fly. But anyhow, everything seems to work. I believe the AC works pretty well. Yeah, everything seems like it's doing what it's supposed to. And then it has some cheapo stereo set up in here. I think like a cheapo amp and a sub box in the trunk. Oh, the horn works. And there's something squeaking in the back. I don't know if that's one of the strut mounts, or I mean the shock mounts for the rear, or there's something else back there that sometimes makes a noise when I go over a bump or whatever. But this is what they got jammed in the trunk. So they got some cheap, whatever, lightning audio, lightning audio, I mean. Oh, I guess this is the base level knob. But yeah, I mean, it's a little double 10 inch, I guess, thing. Somebody just shoved in there. Because the rear seats, they fold down. And, so, I mean, there you have it. You know, other than they kind of, to mount this stupid spoiler thing, they kind of hacked up put holes in there to get bolts through. So, I don't know if you can really tell. I guess you can't really tell from the video, but the paint is a little, just slightly off. So, I mean, it is what it is, considering it was like whoever masked it, they did a pretty good job on the paint, but the masking, they just, you know, they got the little, you can see where they got on the trim here a little, so, you know, I'm gonna have to see if I can scrape that off, and then it's got some water spot stuff, but that's no big deal. But what was funny is the rear the trim back here wasn't, like, half it was on, it was just dangling, the molding or whatever, the weather stripping was just dangling off the window. No one bothered to try to put it, the car was just been neglected. I was just filthy inside. I cleaned it all out. And I mean, this poor car, I'm sure whoever had it before did a good job of, but since the previous owners I got it from, I think they've had it for at least a couple of years, and I think they just got it for their daughter, and, you know, she just basically just treated it like I don't know, garbage can. Whatever they do, they feel it's just a means of transpo, and they just throw the crap in there and never clean it out. So, but, you know, it has all the M3 stuff on here except for the side mirrors and the front grille, which, oh, and I looked, all the VIN numbers matched except for this door, so this door has been replaced. But it all lines up. I don't see any door jamb damage. So maybe it was a side impact, I don't know. But it looks all straight. So I see a little ripple. I don't know if it's the paint, or I see like a little ripple here, but it, you know, it looks pretty good. And, you know, just miscellaneous stuff. I need to get some wipers for this. I don't know where that scratch came from. But, yeah, it cleans up pretty well. I guess these rims look pretty good on it. The more I look at it. I thought maybe just getting some stock BMW one, or the M3 ones that came with, like DS1s, or there's another type. It's like a kind of thick 5-spoke. I forget what they call them. So there you have it. So like I said, if this guy picks up my bike, you know, I'll just have that cash for you, and that I can just start dumping money into this thing, whatever it needs. And that's it. Talk to you later.